Yo, what's going on with y'all boys? I'm Laval. Today I'm gonna show you guys how I make smooth melodies. I'll show some examples. These are super fun to make, and so I'm gonna show y'all some things that I do to execute ideas that I have, plugins that I use, sounds that I use. It's really just gonna be a cook video, and so for these melodies, I use a lot of synths that were used in like the 80s, and so all of Roland's, the Korg Triton, and Korg M1. The Korg M1 is super tough, and then in Analog Lab. Analog Lab has a bunch of different synths that were used in the 80s. And then super underrated plugin for these type of loops that I use is Omnisphere. They have this warm tones section, and then the analog vibe section and the retro vibe sections are super tough too, but the warm tones is usually like what I'll be using. And they have some crazy like keys. And so yeah, those are some VSCs that I use. I'm gonna just put down an idea and then we could just build from there. All right, so let's take what we just made and dump it to the score log. I'm gonna turn up this tone right here because I want it to stand out. And then I'm gonna turn up this tone because I need it to stand out since this gets resolved into this right here. So something super simple like that, I'm going to render it right now and then layer it with another with something else. So we're gonna go to the JD800 by Roland and put this patch on it. This is the Crystal EPs. Super nice. And then there's another patch that I want for a different section. The Fantasia 90s. This shit is actually so crazy. Alright, so for this first section, it's just gonna be these two. And then for the second section, I'm gonna add the Fantasia. We just gotta like chill it out a little bit more. And so I'm gonna turn tone A off. What tone A is, it's like some wind chimes or some shit that they put. Hold on, let me solo this. Yeah, this, if I gotta find a way to turn it down, but I don't know how to like turn it down. Yeah, I don't know how to turn it down. Oh yeah, I just figured it out. What the fuck? And I'm gonna shorten this. Boom, just like that. And now I'm going to route all these tracks. I'm in the mixer. I'm gonna assign them all to their own bus. And so this right here, we'll call the EP bus. And we'll just cut out the lows from here because what I'm gonna add next is a bass. So two basses that I like to use, like I frequent, are the okay, if we go to Xenology, Let's go to E bass and then the finger bass 4, finger E bass 4. This one's super tough. So let me hold on. I'm gonna draw in a pattern. All right, let me show y'all a trick for the Xenology basses. If you use them and you want the basses to slide, you go to the basic tab and then click mono and legato. Turn those both on. Go to edit, and then this pro edit tab right here. Click it and go to the legato re-trigger interval and turn this to 12, and your bass can slide. Super tough. The reason why I don't slide the bass with the portamento is because sometimes like with the portamento option, all the notes will slide even if they're like not touching. Like these two right here, they'll slide into each other even though they're not overlapping. That's why I turn the portamento off and just use the legato, so that these two play like respectively. They don't clash with each other or anything, or it's like slide into each other. But these two, since they're overlapping, they're the ones that slide. And so that's a cool little trick that y'all could do. Let me finish this. And so yeah, I'll use this. Another tough bass is honestly, in my opinion, one of the best ones. The Rickenbacker bass in Contact. If y'all fuck with slap basses, the Korg M1. I think the slap and thumb is the one I'd be fucking with. Yeah, this one's crazy. The only thing about the Korg M1, at least if there is a way, I haven't figured out how to do it, but you can't slide the notes. Like there's no portamento or legato option. I'm gonna try to pitch this up. I just want to hear the bass unmuddy. All right, that's perfect right there. So we're gonna go to C. I need to pitch all these audio clips. If a cool trick that y'all could do, if you're trying to pitch something and you have audio clips in the playlist and none of them are on stretch, a quick way that you can put them all to stretch is by going to tools and then go to the right under this macro section and do switch all audio clip channels to stretch, and then they're all on stretch and you can just pitch it freely. That sounds way better. And so now that we have that, let's try to fill in the melody a little bit more. I'm gonna add a string right here. Now that we have the main ideas down, I just add a bunch of other things to support the main idea. I'm gonna go into the D50 and first patch this Fantasia bell. I'm gonna turn up the release on it just so that it kind of like plays out a little longer. But I've never done that on the D50, and so let's try to figure it out. Okay, let me try to see if I can pull this patch up in Xenology, and then I'll just use the release knob. Turn the release up. A little bit too much. There we go. And then let's add a little like flute. I use Xenology for most wind instruments. The M1 actually has some pretty tough wind instruments as well. Actually, let me go through here and try to see if we can use this instead. Alright, I'm gonna use this breathy patch right here. That's pretty cool right there. Just in the background, I'm gonna add a guitar, and so it's perfect that we have Xenology up, because there's this guitar that I use in almost all these type of melodies. The chorus guitar in Xenology, it's super like funky, groovy. I don't know how to explain it, but y'all will hear it. And the way that I process the guitar is I'll usually put another flanger on it. The Serum 2 effects has a flanger that I basically just use this shit. I'll put the flanger on and then turn the mix down. And then sometimes I'll put the phaser, so let me try the phaser right now. Yeah, this is super funky. And then this delay right here, and then the last thing I put is a reverb. I'm gonna add one more finishing touch to it, which is just a sound effect that I use a lot for these. And then this right here. Turn it all the way down. And then right here, I think I'm gonna add one more instrument. Where is it? Wind. Okay, the flute echo. Flute echo right here. We're gonna use this. And I'm just gonna follow the top this shit right here. Alright, so I'm gonna render this out right here. Alright, I'm gonna do this. Fade it out. Like that. And then let's route this and pan it from side to side using Shaper Box 3. And I'm gonna set this time shit to 3 bars so that it's like off tempo with the beat, if that makes sense. Like it's not going left to right, right on beat, like it's on its own time. I don't know, I just prefer more. Turn the mix down. Alright, and the last thing I'm gonna put is a vintage verb on the flute. That sounds super tough. The last thing I do to process the melody is I'll take everything. It's already routed to the mixer. I'll take all this stuff besides the bass. I'll highlight everything except for the bass and route it to its own bus. And then I'll mute the bass, and in the bus, I'll put on Universal Audio Galaxy Tape Echo. And then here's a cool like little trick that I'll do to make the melody sound more full and wide. I'll go into the tape echo, turn the wet solo on. Boom, so now you're just getting the wet signal. And then you turn the bass all the way down so that the tape echo isn't touching the bass, and it's just gonna make everything muddy if this is not turned down. And then you come to the head select and put it to 5. And the reason why you put it to 5 is that, actually I'll explain that later. Put the head select to 5 and turn the echo rate all the way up. Like this. Make sure tempo sync is off. And then once you play it, there's minimal latency between the wet signal and the dry signal, like just a little bit latency. And so you have that right there. The reason why I put it to 5 is because 5 is where you can get the fastest, or the most like the fastest wet signal, like the least latency. Everything else, like it's all 130 and up, or at least for the head 2 and head 3, like they're too high. Head 1, you can get the lowest one. If you play anything with all of the 3 heads going, it's just gonna make everything sound like all muddy and fucked up. Like too many reverbs and echoes going on. You just need one. And then you go to the pan, the echo pan right here. Pan it to either the right side or the left side. For this case, I'm gonna choose the left. Actually, no, I'm gonna choose the right. And then for the reverb pan, pan that to the left and turn the reverb pan up. And then you just balance the shit out. This sounds pretty good to me right here. And then turn the wet solo off. Oh, another thing that you can do, the tape loop feature right here with the old, you can make the tape sound old. If you're going for super vintage vibes, like if I'm making like 70s type melodies, or like trying to make something that sounds like it's a sample, I'll use the old. But if not, like 80s and really like just everything. I'll use either used or sometimes I'll do new, so it sounds cleaner. Turn the wet solo off so that everything comes together. And then from here you can turn the stereo separation up if you want, and then turn the bass back on. So this is the full melody. Yeah, that's basically how I do those melodies. If y'all got any questions, leave them in the comments. Fuck, I mean, I'm just saying that, but like, I don't know what to say to end the video. Thanks for watching, I guess. Peace out, y'all.